I asked 3 different big Mets fans if they preferred to watch games at Citi Field or Shea Stadium. It's been a big debate for a long time, and I wanted to see what these 3 people thought. These 3 responses are all incredibly different, but it does show how different Mets fans feel. So let's take a listen as these 3 give us their insight to what they feel is the better stadium.
The thing with this question is that not a lot of people have been to Shea Stadium. I've been a Mets fan a really long time. I even married someone who's a Mets fan because I really wanted my family to have the same love and passion for that team. Me and my husband, we almost named our kid Seaver after Tom Seaver. Growing up, I really didn't have a lot of money to attend games, so I feel because the only field I've ever been to is Citi Field, kind of have a stronger connection to that field. I mean, other people might feel differently, but I think it depends who you ask the question to.
Oh, this is an easy one. Shea all the way. I got to see my very first baseball game at Shea Stadium. I was about 6 years old, and I'll never forget it. I remember walking through the brick walkway, and then all of a sudden, I saw the greenness of the field, and I was hooked. I knew it. Baseball was going to be my love. And then from that point on, I would try to get there as much as I could. I got to see Tom Seaver pitch there a couple of times. Favorite player of all time as a Met. There have been others that I've liked, but nobody will compare to Tom. There were some lean years, but those were good too, because when we were kids, one of the ways we used to get into Shea Stadium was we used to collect milk cartons. And when you got enough milk cartons, you could actually cash those in for a ticket to a Met game. And a lot of times, that was the only way that I was able to get to go. And the stadium was always empty, so we'd basically go there and sit wherever we wanted. And then later on, I remember the great teams of the 80s. You know, the Darryl, Doc, Key, Gary Carter. Those were the best times ever at Shea Stadium. That place used to rock. I remember sitting in the upper deck, and Dwight Gooden was pitching, and he was pitching his butt off, and that place was shaking. It was shaking so much I really thought I was going to die that night because I thought the stadium was going to collapse. I mean, Citi Field is a nice place, but Shea was home. I actually have to admit I shed a tear when I went to Shea Stadium for the last time, and I knew I'd never get back there again. So, without a doubt, it's Shea.
I would say Citi Field because there's so many other distractions that you could do, like the bars attached to the stadium, the brewery, things in the ballpark like the restaurants and different concessions and things to do with kids. There was none of that at Shea. Shea was like you'd walk in and it's the game. So game-wise, Shea, experience as a whole of what baseball has become in almost 2020, I'd say Citi. So it's night and day. It's really tough to compare the two, but I always say that Shea is my real home because that's where I learned what baseball was. So it's always going to hold a special place in my heart.